Tonight on WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Mayor Billy Bartlow is teaming up with the YMCA to raise money and raise spirits.
And a child is shot in Syracuse.
Plus, the shooter accused of committing a mass shooting in Buffalo pleads guilty.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now. Good evening, and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jolie Santiago.
And I'm Kyle Spizak.
Tonight, the accused Buffalo mass shooter pleads guilty in state court to charges such as murder, domestic terrorism, and attempted hate crime. However, he has pled not guilty to multiple federal hate crime charges.
19-year-old Peyton Gendron is accused of killing 10 people and injuring a dozen more at a grocery store in a predominantly black neighborhood in May. 11 of the 13 people that were shot were black. Investigators believe that Gendron targeted them based on their race. If convicted of the charges, he can possibly face the death penalty.
Oswego Police Department is working with the restaurant La Paria on the Water to bring toys to families across the county. There is a donation box in the lobby of the police department on West 2nd Street. Anyone can bring new unwrapped toys for children from pre-K to 12th grade. La Paria on the Water is celebrating the 75th anniversary of Toys for Tots at their restaurant on December 12th.
Oswego Mayor Billy Bartlow is teaming up with the YMCA on December 1st. They are hosting a bail event to raise money for the organizations that provide vital programs to the city of Oswego. Bartlow says he encourages residents to donate to the YMCA to help strengthen its sense of community and programs. Donations can be made on their website at oswegoymca.org under the Donations tab, by calling the YMCA, or by visiting the Y with a check. Oswego's annual Holiday Skate with the Lakers fundraiser makes its return this Sunday, December 4th. The event will take place from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at the Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena, with chances to win a Laker jersey and an appearance from Old St. Nick himself. Admissions cost $3 per person with an additional charge for rental skates. All proceeds will support the United Way of Greater Oswego County.
SUNY Oswego's Vice President for Student Affairs wants to hear from you. Dr. Kerr is interested in input on residence halls, the off-campus experience, and campus spaces for students. You can sign up for one of the 6 workshops happening tomorrow and Wednesday in 201 Marano Campus Center. You can find more information in the Oswego Today email. If you have any questions, contact Dr. Kerr at kathleen.kerr@oswego.edu. Finals week can be extremely stressful, especially if you don't have a proper work-life balance. That's why SUNY Oswego's Adult Student Assistant Programs, or ASAP, is organizing a virtual session to prepare for finals and finding the right work-life balance. The session will have discussions on how to balance work, family, and academics while managing the stress of preparing for exams. Students can register via a link sent to them through Oswego's Today's daily emails.
Syracuse police have confirmed today that an 11-year-old girl was shot inside of her home on Syracuse on Saturday. Syracuse Police Chief Lieutenant Matthew Malinowski says that gunshots were fired on Onondaga Street home, and the girl was struck inside while she was at home. The city shot spotter recorded 8 shots fired at that time. The 11-year-old was shot in the shoulder one time. The girl was taken to the Upstate University Hospital in Syracuse, and she is expected to survive.
2 children were stabbed to death in an apartment in the Bronx on Saturday. Their mother, Damone Fleming, is being charged with their murder. Fleming is accused of killing 11-month-old Octavius Fleming Canada and 3-year-old Deshaun Fleming. The children were found dead with multiple stab wounds in the apartment. Fleming's father says his daughter was suffering from postpartum depression and wanted to get treatment for herself. Another family member says Fleming was recently obsessed with demons and thought her children were devils.
Governor Kathy Hochul will soon be choosing the next Chief Justice to serve the highest court of appeals after Judge Janet DeFore resigned back in August.
Hochul will be choosing from 7 candidates that were nominated by the state's common judicial nomination. The commission is made up of 12 members. They received 41 applicants that were narrowed down to 7 last week. The governor is expected to make her decision by December 8th, but has until December 23rd to decide. Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders.
Hi guys, I'm Storm 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders, as you heard. So, looking at our weather headlines, we can see we're having showers stick around into tomorrow. There's a lakeshore flood watch in effect for Wednesday, and we have some strong winds associated with that flood watch Wednesday into Thursday, and we're expecting some lake effect weather Wednesday and Thursday. I'll have more for you coming up later. Back to the desk.
Coming up, we'll have more on the country who ranks #1 in the World Cup.
And an NFL athlete was kicked off a plane. But who was it? More after the break.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome, I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders. Looking into tonight, we can see around 10 p.m. we're going to have a drizzle from some scattered showers sticking around. We're going to have a temperature around 35. Heading into your early morning hours, we can see it stays a little bit chilly with our temperature dropping to 33 degrees. This is around 2 a.m. We're expecting a mix of rain and snow since we're getting close to that freezing mark. And heading towards your early morning commute, again, it's still going to be really chilly out with the temperature around 33, and we're expecting some rain. Looking at our surface map analysis, we can see our cold front moving away and our high pressure system moving in. This is going to bring some calm weather into our Tuesday. Now, looking at our next day outlook, maybe. But going back to the surface map analysis, we can see there is another cold front very off to the left of your screen, and that's going to bring some unsettled weather to our Dixie area. We're expecting some really strong tornadoes in that area, possibly life-threatening, so look out for that. Now, looking at tomorrow, we have a temperature around 45. It's going to be nice, cool, mild conditions, low winds. It's going to be partly cloudy throughout the day. Now, as I mentioned, we're supposed to have some wake effect going into Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm here with some winter driving tips. Make sure you check your tires. You want to make sure you have adequate air and tread on your tires. You want to remove ice and snow from your windshields and the top of your cars, and you want to avoid skidding. Make sure to steer to regain control if you start skidding. I was actually in some wake effect weather, so it's very important to remember that driving safety. Now, looking at Tuesday, we have a high of 45, a low of 37. There's a chance of some PM showers, but not a high chance. Looking at Wednesday, we have a high of 54, a low of 32, some showers and gusty winds. Thursday, we have a high of 38, a low of 32. We have some wake effect possible. We're expecting 1 to 2 inches of snow. Looking at Friday, it starts warming up. We have a high of 43, a low of 28. It's going to be partly cloudy. And heading towards our weekend, we see that warming trend continue with a high of 50 and a low of 33, a chance of PM showers. That's all for my forecast. Back to Jolie and Kyle at the desk.
Thank you, Brianna. One of the world's active volcanoes, the Mauna Loa, is erupting for the first time in 40 years. Though lava is flowing down one side of the volcano, it is not threatening communities, says the Geological Survey. Southwest Airlines will not be operating from Hilo International Airport Monday due to the eruption. Southwest says they have canceled 5 flights to and from Honolulu. There is no indication of any threats due to the eruptions, and no evacuations have been put in place.
NFL star Odell Beckham Jr. was recently removed from an American Airlines flight at Miami International Airport. Miami-Dade police say that they were called after Beckham was on a flight, but the crews could not get him to wake up to fasten his seatbelt. According to the police department, Beckham refused to comply with safety protocol. Then he refused to leave, so everyone on board had to deplane. Beckham's attorney says that the incident was unnecessary and no charges have been filed.
Protests happening in China have been unprecedented in recent history. Thousands of demonstrators are calling to end the zero-COVID policy. It is an approach many U.S. officials are criticizing. Amy Kiley reports.
The zero-COVID policy has been a disaster, both economically and politically inside China.
Top U.S. health officials add it probably won't stop the spread of COVID-19. That's as thousands of demonstrators across China risk the regime's wrath to protest its pandemic strategy. Some are calling for Chinese President Xi Jinping to step down.
These dictators, unfortunately, have pretty sophisticated means of remaining in power.
The demonstrators say they oppose China's repeat lockdowns and strict quarantines. This man is urging even more people to take a stand.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult for China to be able to contain this through their zero-COVID strategy.
Chinese state media disputed that in a newspaper editorial Sunday. It called the zero-COVID approach scientifically effective. But the country has reported an increase in new COVID-19 cases for 6 days straight.
They went into a prolonged lockdown without any seeming purpose or end game to it, which really doesn't make public health sense.
Dr. Anthony Fauci calls China's vaccination plan baffling. He says it doesn't focus on vulnerable populations or use the most effective vaccines.
I would recommend that they pursue the strategy of making sure everybody gets vaccinated, particularly their elderly.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The data is showing the rise in cases is from the China Health Commission. It came out today.
At the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, Brazil defeats Switzerland in a superb Casemiro strike to advance to the knockout stage. Brazil picked up its second win in the 2 games at the World Cup after a win over Switzerland. Brazil is currently ranked the top team in the world. The win pushes Brazil to the top of the Group G and guarantees that the 5-time World Cup winners will advance to the knockout stage. Switzerland can still advance if they win against Serbia on Friday.
A state of emergency was declared on the island of Ischia in Italy following a landslide on Saturday. The governor of the Campania region says search and rescue operations continue for victims. At least 7 people were killed, including a newborn. Italy's Service Protection says 8 people have been rescued, but weather conditions are making search efforts difficult. Cars and infrastructure were also damaged due to torrential rains. Officials say 209 people have been evacuated from the area. New data shows U.S. life insurance companies hit a record number of benefits provided.
And today is America's biggest day for online shopping, Cyber Monday. But do consumers still care about it? Find out after the break.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. U.S. life insurance companies paid a record of $100 billion in benefits last year. According to data from the American life insurers, it is an 11% jump and the largest since the 1918 influenza pandemic. The data does not state the case of death for the life insurance payees, but COVID-19 could play a part. According to the CDC, COVID-19 was linked to over 460 U.S. deaths in 2021. The purchase of life insurance also rose last year to more than 6%.
The TSA says air travel hit a pandemic-era record on Sunday. The agency posted on Twitter saying it screened more than 2.5 million people at U.S. airports. That beat the record of 2.49 million set on July 1st after the pandemic. The TSA nearly matched that record the day before Thanksgiving, screening 2.6 million people.
Today is Cyber Monday, but as shoppers start their holiday shopping earlier than ever, is Cyber Monday still a thing? Data from Adobe Analytics shows online Black Friday sales in the U.S. topped a record-breaking $9.12 billion this year. Jen Sullivan has a look at why Cyber Monday could be losing its appeal.
Despite higher prices and rising interest rates, online holiday shopping is seeing major growth, but there are signs of a slowdown.
The online piece has slowed a bit, and we'll see a resurgence in consumers back in stores this holiday season in ways we haven't seen for the 2 or 3 years.
The NRF estimates Americans will still spend in record numbers this season. But according to Adobe Analytics, customers in the first 3 weeks of this month spent $64.5 billion online. That's only a tiny 0.1% gain from last year, with their data also showing that discounts only get deeper in the run-up to Cyber Monday. With some experts saying as more people shop early, it could make Cyber Monday less relevant in the future.
Retailers have really responded by moving those deals and promotions up earlier to give people more time.
The National Retail Federation says their data shows shoppers started their holiday shopping as early as September, suggesting they're more budget conscious and are not waiting until Cyber Monday or beyond to find deals.
Particularly right now with inflation top of mind, consumers are looking to spread out some of that spending.
But other signs of an online shopping slowdown are also emerging, with Amazon forecasting fourth quarter sales below analysts' expectations. Meanwhile, the president of e-commerce website Shopify says he's very optimistic about sales on this platform this season.
We were already seeing numbers slightly up from last year.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
According to a preliminary research, consumers are projected to spend a record $11.6 billion on this year's Cyber Monday.
It seems Americans love online shopping. That's because online Black Friday sales have hit the all-time high this year. Black Friday online sales hit just over $9.1 billion this year, according to Adobe Analytics. Despite recent economic concerns like inflation, the National Retail Federation projects overall holiday sales will increase by 8% in 2022.
Oil prices in the U.S. have hit a low that has not been seen in nearly a year. According to AAA, the national cost of gas is $3.55 per gallon. That is down 3% from last month. futures for West Texas Intermediate crude oil, which is the North American benchmark, fell by 3%. Meanwhile, the global benchmark crude had a similar drop, sending oil prices down to $81 per barrel. That is the lowest since January. Coming up in sports, Alex Brooks is here. Can you give us a quick preview, Alex?
Thanks, guys. Welcome back from Thanksgiving as both Oswego hockey teams are on fire. Syracuse Orange and the Jets took home victories, and Sunday Night Football was a back-and-forth battle. All this coming up after the break.
Put the keys down, Kevin. But I'm gonna drive home. There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving. I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP 10. I'm Alex Brooks with my last sports report of the semester, and let's get right into it. The red-hot Oswego Lakers men's hockey team traveled to Saratoga, New York for the annual Skidmore College Thanksgiving Invitational this past weekend. Oswego would take on Wilkes University on Saturday and cruise to a 5-1 win thanks to freshman goaltender Cal Shell, who has an Oswego record with starting his career with 6 straight victories in net. The Lakers would take on Skidmore College Sunday night and would take the loss in the championship game and fall to 7-2. The Lakers will host Morrisville for their annual Teddy Bear Toss this Friday in the Deb. Moving over to the women's side of the ice, the women's hockey team took on Hamilton College on Sunday in Clinton, New York. Riding a 6-game win streak, Oswego was able to get a late third-period goal from junior forward Kenzie Malone, assisted by Mac Hall. This goal would edge out the 13th-ranked Continentals for their 7th win of the season. Oswego will take on Buffalo State on the road to try and extend their win streak to 8 games. Traveling 45 minutes west of Boston, the Syracuse Orange wrapped up their season with a win against the Boston College Eagles to snap their 5-game losing streak. After being down 10-6 going into the fourth quarter, the Orange exploded for a 26-point barrage with the help of Garrett Schrader and Sean Tucker. They both scored twice to give Syracuse the victory to end the season. The Orange await their opponent for bowl eligibility that will be announced December 4th. From college to the pros, the New York Jets hosted the Chicago Bears in East Rutherford as quarterback Zach Wilson was benched and Mike White would take over as QB1. If there are any questions regarding who Mike White is, they were answered Sunday. White has been a spark plug in the past for the Jets, and he showed it again with a 149.3 passer rating, 315 yards, and 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The Jets would win 31-10 and would improve to 7-4 in a tough AFC East division. But we're going to head to the city of brotherly love for Sunday Night Football. Packers at 4-7 and the Eagles at 9-1. Rodgers dealing with a broken thumb, but it is the A-Rod Cobb connection for 2022 as Green Bay goes up 1. Less than a minute in the first, Jalen Hurts takes off to the right where there is nothing but green grass in front of him. And he could go all the way, but he is pushed out to the 5-yard line. The Eagles would end up scoring, but Aaron Rodgers is on the move again. This time he moves around, climbs the pocket, and delivers an absolute dime to Aaron Jones to tie the game up at 20. It's 27-20 Philly. Hurts fakes it to Sanders and finds A.J. Brown for his 7th score of the year and makes up for the fumble he had early in the game. Rodgers heads to the locker room, and it is Jordan Love time, and he will make his first appearance since last season against the Chiefs. But there's still a lot of game to play, ladies and gentlemen. Love down 14, but he finds Christian Watson, and he turns on the Jets past 2 Eagles defenders, and he will score. Now they are only down 7. However, Hurts and company are able to rely on the run game all day, and it works there to get the first down and seal the 10th win of the season and the best record in the NFL. And guys, Jalen Hurts is in the MVP race.
Yeah, that was a great game. Wow.
I don't know about that, but I don't know about the Hurts part. But thanks, Alex. Your Eagles are flying. I will give you that. But Merriam-Webster says the word of the year.
Find out what that word is after the break.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I think you could build a house here with how many bricks are being laid in this game.
That is a rapid nosedive, and it is at the point of no return, guys.
Up to Dobson at the point. The cross-ice pass comes to Parise, who's going to extend the lead to 3, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're not going down without a fight. Puck loose, out in front of net.
Welcome back to the best show on WTOP. I'm your host, Miss Meg Trivia. And I'm Donna B.
We start things off in the pool as 4 members of the Oswego women's swimming and diving team have earned all SUNY honors. Oh, finally, got that old music back. Welcome live inside the Outrigger studio for the newest episode of Sports.
For our final story of the night, Merriam-Webster has chosen its word of the year. That word is gaslighting, and that's no lie.
Merriam-Webster says people looked up the definition of the word dramatically more this year than in previous years.
The publishing company defines gaslighting as the act of or practice of grossly misleading someone.
The word's origin comes from the name of a 1938 play in which a man tries to make his wife believe she is going insane. One of his tricks is to make the gas lights in the house dim and then deny the lower lighting to his wife.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, that's interesting. But what would be your word of the year?
You know, I gotta go with steez. You know, I gotta say steez. I mean, it's starting to come back. That's more of an 80s term, you know. Like, they're a bit steezy. They got the style.
Steez. I actually haven't heard that before.
Yeah, it's a word for style. That's what I like. What would you guys be?
I'd say gritty.
Gritty, that's a good one. Gritty
yeah,
is a good one.
Good.
What about you?
I don't know. I have no idea what my word would be.
I don't know.
Anyone, just spitball. Anything off the top of your head.
I don't know. I guess brick, but I don't think you guys use that up here.
No, yeah.
But like it's brick outside.
Yeah. Oh no, we do.
Yeah, okay,
that's a good one.
Awesome.
Brick's a word that can go multiple ways. Like
Yeah.
basketball, you brick a shot.
Right.
It's brick
Exactly.
outside.
Yep.
Like the commercial you guys had.
Yeah,
Build a brick
it's
wall.
like that. Building a brick wall.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for On Deck.
Thank you all for watching, and thank you for a great semester of us here. We appreciate you tuning in, and stay classy, Oswego.